When you get released by the Reds, I mean, I feel like a lot of guys would have folded, like straight up. Were you considering that, or why? I guess really why keep going? Like I guess for no better way to say that.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to be done playing. I owed myself a shot to keep playing. You know what I mean?
Sitting down with Matt Lloyd in the Beak Box today. Matt, I want to start with your childhood growing up in Canada. What were you like as a kid, man?
I would say I was a little quiet. You know, just want to go out and play sports and stuff, playing ball and stuff with my mom in the backyard, playing wiffle ball, just trying to get outside and stuff. So, yeah, just fairly normal kid, I would say, and just wanted to be athletic, I guess, yeah.
So what were you like getting into outside of baseball? I know that obviously baseball now and then was a big part of your life, but like outside of it, I'm always curious to see if you guys played other sports or if were you like an indoor kid or what were you like?
Yeah, I played basketball was my other sport, but always wanted to get into hockey a little bit. Like we'd go out on the outdoor rink, the ODR, we'd call it, just skate around, you know, shoot some pucks around, but yeah, I played basketball, like organizationally, I guess, and other than that, it was baseball the whole time. So,
how long did basketball last?
I played in 10th grade was my last year,
so
and then I
played a little bit.
Yeah, switched over and just focused fully on baseball.
I know that your parents are pretty big baseball fans as well, right? So like, were they trying to push baseball a little bit when you were a kid?
Well, my dad he thought that I was always going to play basketball more, but wow. He's always loved baseball, and like he worked with Team Canada basketball. He was around, you know, those Canada basketball guys like Steve Nash and a bunch of other guys, but yeah, he always thought I was going to play basketball, and but just loved baseball always, and always supported, you know, me falling into baseball more. If that makes sense.
What was he doing for Team Canada then? Was he like coaching or?
He was more like the I guess you'd call it like the operations guy. So he'd like handle travel and make sure everything's all good and stuff. Like he went to Greece with the Olympic team, and yeah, just kind of the operations guy, I would say.
Wow, that's crazy. How long did you do that? Do you know? I'm sure. I know I'm asking your dad's resume.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. Probably good. I'm just gonna guess 5 years.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm guessing. Sorry if that's wrong, Dad. But
I know you kind of like you moved a little bit as a kid. You were telling me you're born in Toronto, ended up growing up a little bit in Alberta too. What baseball team was on, especially as you're growing up? Like what was the team that was on TV?
I'd say the Blue Jays for sure. You know, being from Canada, that's our only team, and then the Atlanta Braves. For some reason, my dad was just a big Braves fan. There's actually a major leaguer that was from Calgary, where we moved, Chris Rietsma. So he was a pitcher on the Braves, and you know the Braves was always on TV. So Braves and Blue Jays for sure.
That's super random then.
Yeah.
How were you guys? Was that just like locally played, like a regional network there? Because obviously growing up, like we weren't streaming MLB TV or anything yet, so they just carried.
We had Peachtree TV for some reason. I don't know why we had it, but they had games on pretty much every day. So it was always the Braves and Blue Jays.
Was your mom a Braves fan too, or?
I think my mom's more Blue Jays because we used to live in Toronto. They went to a couple playoff games, the World Series games when they won back to back. But so
were they there? The Carter homer?
I'm not sure.
That'd be wild.
But
that's a big one. Yeah. Obviously, we're gonna talk about Canada a lot because I'm just super curious on how baseball works up there. Obviously, you already mentioned hockey, but hockey's obviously huge up there. But when you played in 2013 with Team Canada, right?
Yep.
You played with Josh Naylor, right?
Yeah, I did.
He was on that squad.
Yep.
Was he just as eccentric as his like "you guys feed me" moment? Like, was he still that guy or that guy?
I would say he's super passionate. So when he does something well, like he gets excited about it, and that's how he was back then too. And obviously you see it on TV here and there, like big home run or something, like he cares. So he was the same back then.
So he was like what, like 15 at that point? You guys were like 15, 16?
I want to say he was 2 years younger than me.
Oh, wow.
I think. But his first trip he was 14 years old,
oh, wow.
which is unheard of. It's crazy.
Okay. And you were in the 16-ish range?
Yeah, I would have been
17,
I think, 16 or 17.
Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you still talk to him at all? Have you talked to him since then?
Just here and there, like Instagram DMs and stuff. But he had that ankle injury a few years back, and I had a similar, I had surgery on my ankle. So he was there to, talk me through some things and, words of encouragement, and because he went through probably a more gruesome injury than me, and he's back out there playing. So it was inspiring for me to see that, you can come back from something like that.
That's awesome. You played at Foothills Composite High School.
Yeah.
What is high school baseball like in Canada?
So it's a little bit different, at least in Alberta. So we didn't really have a high school team. So it was just, there's 2 high schools in the town, and then we would go after school. We called it an academy, but by definition, I don't think it is. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't all go to school together. But so after school, it's like a full year-round program, practice indoors in the winter and stuff. So we just go after school and all meet up and, practice and whatnot.
So that's kind of like how hockey is here, weirdly enough. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of more area as opposed to schools-centric.
Yeah.
What's like the competition level like? Obviously, we know that there are guys that come out of Canada and that are legit, yourself included. But I guess you haven't really seen American high school baseball in a weird way. But do you know if it compares as far as skill level?
I think over the years it's definitely gotten better. There's a bunch of different academies similar to what I went through, and that we'd all kind of battle in Canada. So I'd say that the competition there is pretty similar. Like, it's good baseball. We would come down to the States too, and we'd handle ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, there wouldn't be many blowouts, like if we're losing or whatever it may be. But it seemed like we were, right up there with the best teams that we played against in the States, if that makes sense.
How does that whole recruitment process work then, especially because, we're going to talk about Indiana a little bit too, but like, how does recruitment coming across the border collegiately, like how does that whole system work, or at least from your experience, how did that work?
Some of the guys that I've, grew up with and stuff, it's a lot of the relationships between the coaches and college coaches. So sometimes it felt like a college coach might only see a guy for a weekend. Like, if we go down to the States, like, they'll only see the guys that little weekend. So it's kind of different that way. They don't really get to follow you as much, I would say. Like, if we're playing in Canada, like, we'd have a few showcases where colleges would come up and watch. But it's mostly those West Coast schools. Like, there's a connection between Oregon State now and my academy. So a lot of guys have that connection where either they'll go straight to Oregon State or go to a JuCo and then go across to Oregon State or whatever school that is. So I think a lot of it's connection based. Like, for me, my high school coach had sent a lot of guys to Louisville. So because he coached in Kentucky, so a lot of his guys back in the day went to Louisville, and there's a connection there. And then the coaches from Louisville, Lamonis and Cheeseboro, they went over to Indiana. Lamonis got the head coach job there and kind of had that connection already. So that helped after I went to JuCo.
Lloyd a swing, drilled to right center. Rodriguez going back. It is gone! A 3-run shot on an 0-2 pitch by Matt Lloyd.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about JuCo in just a second, but I know you had Tommy John, right?
Yeah.
I know you have also a pretty gnarly tatted scar too.
Yeah.
That's sweet. I mean, like, for a terrible thing that you have to go through, like, that's not a bad battle scar to have. What led to that? Like, how old were you? Like, what happened there?
So I was a senior in high school, so I was 17 or 18, and I was pitching and playing defense. And I was on a Team Canada trip. I was out there pitching like the last inning of the game, and just felt like a tear, like a pop almost in my elbow. Didn't really know exactly what it was at first. Ended up getting an MRI. They said partially torn. You can try to not have surgery. So I tried that route. And then a little bit later, I was like turning to double play. I was playing second base and just threw the ball to first, like high effort, and felt pain again in there. And ended up going to college, to junior college, knowing I had a torn ligament in my elbow. So that ended up getting surgery during Christmas break that first year. Okay. So then just rehabbing.
For that full year.
Yeah.
And then come back the next. So you were going to JuCo regardless, right? Like you didn't have Indiana yet. When you threw that ball from second, did you think that at least the pitching front was done at that point?
No. It was just I mean, I went to college and still pitched. So I came back from the TJ fully.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because Church, we talked to Church, and he had actually a pretty similar track. So he had Tommy John too heading into UCI. But he once he knew that, I guess maybe his rehab took a little bit longer. So he was like, I'm done with throwing.
He scrapped it.
Yeah, he was pretty much over with it. So, I mean, the fact that you at least felt confident enough is kind of telling a little bit that you were ready to roll still.
I didn't even really think about it, honestly. It was just
something I'm going to go through.
Yeah, I'm going to keep pitching and see what happens. Just keep both doors open.
What kind of gas were you throwing then?
Back then, 89 maybe, 90,
right
touching 90.
Yeah.
But at Indiana, my last outing touched 95 twice.
Okay. That's not bad, man.
I got that in the back pocket, though.
Yeah, you certainly do, dude. So Iowa Western Community College, was that the only option you had out of Canada?
There was a couple D1s that were interested and a couple more JuCos, but there was a point where I made a decision, like, I'm going to go JuCo. So then I visited a couple JuCos, and when I saw Iowa Western, there was no question that was the place I wanted to go. Like, the coaching staff was incredible. Mark Reardon, who's now at Western Kentucky, he's incredible. And just the campus itself, it felt like a small Division I school, in my opinion. It felt just top-tier junior college.
Was the injury kind of playing into that at that point, or was it just you just dead set on JuCo at that point?
I was already set on JuCo. I committed to Iowa Western before I had the injury, so I was already locked in there, and then just dealt with the injury there at Iowa Western.
Was there any profound reason why you didn't want to go to D1, or was it just kind of?
It was more of the options I had out of high school. It was, I wanted to go to a Power 5 conference, go to a nice big school somewhere, and just didn't really have the interest back then, the exposure maybe. But I never questioned my decision to go JuCo. I thought that was really good for me, and we worked a lot, a lot of practices, no rules on practice hours and stuff like that. Like, we were out there grinding every day, so it was really good for my development.
So from there, did you notice like a massive difference playing JuCo ball to like the exposure, like you're saying? Like, were you getting way more exposure than you were in high school?
Yeah, 100%. It was not really even close.
Okay. Just
being in the States where all the schools are, it's easier for them to come and see you, and you're putting up numbers. Yeah, it was just.
So how did that process play out for you then? Like, how did Indiana get into the picture?
Like I said, it was the Louisville connection with my old coach. They already had kind of an eye on me, and just following me through the career and stuff. Like, just staying in touch, I guess.
Were you like juggling any other schools, or was like Indiana the dream, or how were you thinking then?
Indiana was probably the dream. once those Louisville guys, they moved to Indiana. But there were some other schools too, and just having to juggle, like going on a couple visits and just trying to narrow it down where I'm going to spend the next, couple years and play ball. So
You played in Indiana with Andrew Salfrank.
yes, I
right?
did. Yeah.
You still buddies with him, or?
Not as much, like how it goes. The career starts moving and new guys come in and out throughout the years, but I haven't really been in touch with him as much.
Were you at least all in on the D-backs in 23?
Yeah, I was watching. He's nasty. He's a good pitcher.
Was there like an Indiana group chat going after that, or are you guys kind of getting back in contact during that run?
Yeah, a little bit. Just, trying to support the guys that you played with in the past, and it's really cool to see him throwing in the World Series.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
You ended up being a 15th rounder by Cincinnati. How did that whole experience come to be for you? Like, when you're kind of looking back on it now, it's been a good chunk of change now in a different organization, and a lot has happened since too. But when you think back to draft day or wherever you were, what are you thinking of?
I think my draft day is a little bit different than a lot of guys. Like, our season was done in college. A couple guys, or I guess a good handful of guys, were hanging around campus still, just hanging out, like wanting to see where everyone goes in the draft. And I was just out for breakfast with my boys. I was a senior as well, so I knew that my college career is done either way. And just driving home from breakfast in the car, and then people start saying like congrats to me and stuff. Like, I didn't get a phone call or anything.
Oh, wow.
And next thing I know, I just hop on Twitter, the draft tracker, see the Reds selected me. So it's kind of a whirlwind. Like, I didn't get any contact from the Reds before the pick or anything. So it was just, flooding of texts coming in, and call my parents, and it was kind of different. And then I heard from them later that day, obviously, but
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that.
Yeah,
it's always a phone call, like a couple picks ahead, like, hey, we're interested.
Yeah, it was just
that's really
kind of
strange.
blindsided me in the best way, I guess. But yeah, it was just different than a lot of guys, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess you also didn't have the leverage. Like you said, you were already a senior, so you didn't have much of a, like, it wasn't like if they called, like, no, I'm going to go back to school.
Exactly, yeah.
Dang, that's super weird.
Yeah.
I've literally never heard anybody say that. That's odd. Cincinnati ball, obviously you played a couple of years, but you went through a bunch of injuries, man. And I know that had to have been tough. You mentioned the ankle injury that you had to get surgery on that, obviously before then the elbow. When that saga is coming to be, like, I got to imagine, obviously it was tough, but when you're in theory, like, already like, okay, this is my shot, did you feel like torn down at that moment that you just couldn't stay on the field at that point?
Yeah, 100%. It was, I think it was just a weird couple of years, because it was 2019, first taste of pro ball. I thought that, like, I had success early. And then the next year, I'm going to spring training, and then COVID hits. So it's just no season at all. And then that December, I ended up breaking a bone in my hand, hitting the hamate bone. And then go to spring training the next year, oblique strain, out for too long with that. End up going to AA that year, success again. And then, going into the next year, I'm thinking, like, this is my year. And then just like a freak ankle injury, and end up missing, a really good chunk of the season. And then, it's definitely tough, like, just thinking that it's your shot, thinking that, like, this is going to be my year, and then just taken away just like that. Yeah. So, but I think it all happens for a reason too. I'm here now, and, I'm grateful to be here and really thankful that the Cardinals could give me a shot. And, I'm having a blast here.
Yeah. I mean, you landed with a good organization, obviously. And, like, I know that going through that type of thing can really build character. Like, I know that there's no way you come out of that like, oh, I'm the same guy as I was before. Like, I think you have such a unique situation that you had to, like, you had little spurts in between, like you're saying, where it's just like, oh, cool, success, boom, and then you get knocked down again. So, like, everybody's journey obviously is different. Everybody goes through injuries and all that kind of stuff, but it's such a unique path, and maybe that's what makes you you.
Lloyd is going back to the track right in front of the wall, leaps at the wall, he made the catch.
When you get released by the Reds, I mean, I feel like a lot of guys would have folded, like straight up. Were you considering that, or why, I guess really why keep going? Like, I guess for no better way to say that. Right.
I'd say, like, initially I was thinking, should I keep playing or not? But there was a lot of Indy Ball teams that reached out, and, when I was with the Reds, my, I guess, motto or whatever you want to call it was, I'm never going to play Indy Ball. But then you're in the situation where that's your only option. It's like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. Because, I played this game my entire life, and I didn't want, like one organization's opinion of me or scenario where I was hurt and all this stuff. Like, I don't want that to be, the end of the story for me. So I was really lucky to land in Sioux City with the manager there, Steve Montgomery. It's really great. Had a really good time there in the season. I went into that season thinking that I'm just going to try to have as much fun as I can because, you never know when it's going to be over. So just went into that season with that mindset, and, I think the play on the field kind of took care of itself when I was just focusing on trying to have the best time as I could. Just enjoy the game, play the game to, my best effort every day. And I think all the numbers and stuff took care of that. Yeah. And then even with the connection with the manager there, he had a connection with the Cardinals, John Vooch. And so that's kind of how this all came about too, is, the connections all over the place. So, yeah, I wasn't ready to be done playing. I owed myself a shot to keep playing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. You also played in Mexico after that season in Sioux City. Like, was it just full out blitz, dude? Like, were you like, I'm finally feeling good, I just want to keep playing at that point?
Yeah, pretty much that, and need to put some money in the bank as well. But yeah, and when I went to Mexico too, I didn't have any plans for this year. So I'm still trying to find a job for this next coming year. So I felt like I had to, show that I'm still capable and healthy.
When the Cardinals come into the mix, like you said, you kind of had a little bit of a connection. The Indy Ball route is obviously, like we've kind of touched on, just a little bit of a different path. Not the only guy to do it, and there will be a million more. But how straight up is a front office with you on your chances, on how they're feeling, like, especially are they coming at you from, like, organizationally, like, look, this is where our deficits are, or whatever the case may be. I'm just curious how those conversations start when the Cardinals come in and be like, are they, like, straight up with you, or are they just like, yeah, you have a chance, like, yeah, we'd like to sign you?
In my experience, it was just, do you want to come play for the Cardinals? It wasn't anything like no plans, you know what I mean? It was just, we want to give you an opportunity, we want to give you a job. And the way I see it is, if I'm on the field, they're paying me to wear a uniform and play baseball, that there's always a chance to, move up, and you're always in the mix, in my opinion. So I feel like I don't really need them to tell me what the plan is, you know what I mean? If I'm on that field, I'm going to be doing me. I'm going to be, trying to win games, doing my best, and everything else is out of my control. So yeah. I try not to worry too much about it. Yeah.
Yeah. How different has it been this time around for you? Like in affiliated ball, obviously you've been healthy for the vast majority of the season. So is it been different for you? Or do you have a new perspective on the situation now?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think, the the Indy Ball season really, showed me that I feel like you can't worry about anything else besides, trying to have a good attitude, showing up every day, giving your best effort every day, and just trying to have fun and, enjoy the game. Like, we're very lucky to be able to go out there and call that our job. You know what I mean? So I think that Indy Ball season really changed my perspective on everything. Don't worry about, going up or whatever. Like, if you go 4 for 4 or 0 for 4, like, just try to be the same guy every day. Enjoy the presence of everybody around, and just play ball. So I think this year there's still been some up and downs, throughout the season, but I feel like I've been trying to do the same thing. Just try, play ball, have fun, and try to win some games.
And the 1-0 Lloyd is swung on, lifted to left along the line. A long run for Perez, back toward the wall. It's gone! Lloyd going back, stepping onto the track, toward the corner, right to the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch.
All right, Matt. We got the Cardinals Quickfire, which we do in every single episode, and I just don't cheat. We just throw a bunch of questions your way, and we see how you do, man. So these have absolutely nothing to do with each other. And
What is this? Just like one word answer?
No, just like
don't think about it.
Just don't think about it, man. Just let's let it ride. All right. So obviously, grew up in Canada, played in Mexico. What do you speak more of now, French or Spanish?
Spanish.
More Spanish. Yeah.
Good amount more.
Good amount.
I don't know any French anymore.
Did you take that in high
Yeah,
school
we had
stuff?
to take it in elementary school growing up, but I don't remember
All gone.
any of it.
Have you ever Googled yourself?
Yes, I have.
What?
Of course.
How many times? Are you regularly doing it, once a year or?
I try to get away from it a little bit, just like looking at stats and stuff, but in the past, quite a bit. So I'd probably say 100 times maybe.
I need you to pull out your phone for this one. Speaking of Googling something, what is on your Google recently searched?
Oh, God.
It's going to say Matt Lloyd.
How do you
Just
do that?
hit the search bar or whatever, and it should pop up whatever you recently searched.
USD to CAD? US dollars to Canadian dollars?
That's amazing.
Best-
How often are you doing that? You still haven't
Once a
figured it
week,
out?
probably.
Really?
Just to, do calculations and whatnot,
Because, you've lived in the States for a while now, dude. You
Yeah.
lived in Iowa.
Well, it's more for when I go back home for the off season, like transferring money back and forth. But
Okay.
best iPhone cases. It's a lot of my old teammates' stats and stuff, like Reese Hines stats.
All baseball all the time,
Yeah,
man.
mostly baseball.
That's funny. I saw a picture. You went in a hot spring at the top of Mist Mountain in Alberta.
Yep.
Looked freaking awesome.
Yep.
Is that the coolest nature experience you've ever had?
Um,
Because you're kind of an outdoorsy guy, no?
I think that is probably the coolest one. Just hike for 2 or 3 hours and then hop in a little hot tub, naturist hot tub,
Sure.
natural
Natural,
hot tub.
yeah.
Just brought my dog, my girlfriend, and 2 of our friends. We just went up there and had a good time. Yeah.
When I saw that picture, I legitimately was like, I want to do that now.
Yeah.
I've never seen something like that.
Yeah, it's unique. It's really cool.
Yeah, we talked to Quinn Matthews about Yellowstone, and obviously, that's a kind of you can't go in those types of hot springs, but
Right.
yeah, seeing that, I was like, man, maybe I got to get up to Alberta, man. That looks sweet.
It's good hiking up there.
You played in Indiana. Did you know that there's a Matt Lloyd who is a lawyer in Bloomington?
Yeah, I would always see on the buses, there'd be Matt Lloyd Law. I would always see that. It's
That's amazing.
crazy.
Any
Yeah.
run in with that guy?
No,
They weren't
never.
a sponsor or anything?
No, I should have probably reached out to him or something, but didn't.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
You should get a sponsorship deal with that guy.
Matt
Wouldn't
Lloyd
make
Law.
much sense anymore.
If I
but-
ever get in trouble, I know where to go.
If you're ever in trouble in the Bloomington, Indiana area.
Yeah.
More things on your phone, man. You don't have to pull it out, but is your phone's weather app in Celsius or Fahrenheit?
I don't even know. I'll have to look.
So you're not checking weather on the phone?
Right now it's in Fahrenheit.
Oh.
I have it on my lock screen.
Wow. So
But
are you fully
I'll
converted then?
switch. No. Well,
You American?
not fully.
By trade
no,
now?
No.
That's crazy. Is it an imperial or metric then? When you pull up Google Maps or whatever? Are you
I have my
miles?
maps in miles. Just, I don't know why.
Dude, I think you're turning American.
I know. I need to go home and change.
You need to
get back to my roots a little bit.
Eat some poutine or something, get you feeling better. Senior year at Indiana, you had a save in both games of a doubleheader. What's easier, homering in both games of a doubleheader or getting 2 saves?
I guess depends on who's pitching for the other team. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you, my arm was hanging after that.
That's a lot of time in between.
Yeah, it was
like getting loose, going through the emotional roller coaster, falling back down, playing another game, getting loose again, and going back through that roller coaster.
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, I've done the closing twice. I've never homered in 2 doubleheaders. So I guess that answers that. It's harder to homer twice.
There you go. What's your favorite fruit?
Grapes, probably.
Grapes?
Grapes or pineapple.
Are you like a green or a red grape guy?
I think red.
Red. Seedless? Seeds?
Seedless, yeah,
Seedless
of course.
Red grape. There you go. Now you know what to bring Matt Lloyd to sign. And then the last one, man, I ask everybody this. The only one I didn't ask this season was Crooksy. But you get to face off with one pitcher, alive or dead, to test your skills. Anybody you want. Biggest test ever. Who do you want to face?
I think I knew this question was coming, so I was thinking about it earlier, but I think I might go Nolan Ryan, just to see what that's like, I guess.
So we've only had, because I didn't ask Crooks, but I asked Nathan Church. Church said Koufax. I think we got 2 of the all-time greats as far as like the batting side.
Yeah.
Because everybody else wants to face, Tink was Barry and Quinn was Ichiro and Zach Greinke for some reason. But no, that's solid, dude. That's solid. Do you have any idea how you would attack? What's the weakness of Nolan Ryan? Basically nothing.
Yeah, does he have a weakness?
I think he does. Maybe his age now. If it was
swing early, and see if he gives me a fastball or something. I don't know.
Close your eyes.
Yeah, I don't know.
All
Maybe
right.
lay a bunt down or something.
Yeah, I think that's probably gonna break your bat.
Yeah.
You're crazy. I wouldn't want to face him. Matt Lloyd, last guest of the season, man. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. It's my pleasure.